Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for our monthly webinar series. This is our February installment and a little bit different of a format than usual. Today we are introducing to you a brand new partnership that we are offering to all of our policyholders. And this is a valuable service being provided by a company called Dashlane. I personally am a user, and as is my wife. They provide a really valuable and user-friendly password management and password analysis service that I think will greatly improve the cybersecurity and also user experience of all of our insureds. And I'm really excited to introduce Allison Baker of Dashlane. She's going to go through a little bit more detail on what they can do and how this service will be delivered to all of our policyholders. And with that, Allison, I hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. And thank you all for joining. We're super excited to be working with Shinur. Really appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit more about Dashlane. So today I'm going to do a brief overview of Dashlane, go through a demo video showing off all of our key features, and then explain how you can get 100 free licenses of our premium service just for being a Shinur client. So a few key things about Dashlane. Some of you might be familiar with us from our consumer side, but we are known as the world's leading password manager. We are on a mission to make identity and payments simple and secure everywhere. Today, we're a team split between New York City and Paris. We have more than 10 million customers on the consumer side, more than 7,000 business customers, all across 130 countries. We're super proud to be the only password manager with a US patent for our security architecture. We've also gotten some really awesome press in the last couple of years. We were named a Best App by Google, Editor's Choice from Apple. Last year, we beat out Uber for Webby's People's Choice Award. We were recently named PC Mag's one of their best products of 2017. You can also see us written about with reviews from the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, a lot of other tech and security blogs if you want to check us out there. Today, Dashlane is free on a single device. Our premium service, which enables you to sync all of your data across an unlimited number of devices. Today, that's $39.99 a year. But again, you'll get 100 free premium licenses just for being a Shinur client. All right, so with that, I'm going to jump into showing you a live demo video of Dashlane. So when you download Dashlane, the first thing you're going to do is set up a master password, which is what I'm typing in there. So the master password is the only password that you're ever going to need to remember again. It's really important that you just keep this one in your head, you don't write it down anywhere, because it actually functions as an encryption key. Today, Dashlane is storing all of your data directly on your device locally under our security architecture. This is what we use to unlock it and make sure all your data is super secure. Now, when you first go into Dashlane, the first thing you're going to see is our password vault. This is where you're going to keep all of your passwords super secure and easily accessible. Now, when you start with Dashlane, it's really easy to start filling this out. We can either import your current passwords from Chrome, we can get them from a CSV file, we could get them from another password manager if you're using one of those. And then every time you kind of cruise around the internet and enter a new password, we'll automatically save that here. So it's really no big deal to get started. You're also allowed to save an unlimited number of passwords here. I think I'm all the way up to 300 now. Now the next piece is our security dashboard. This gives you a really clear view into your overall password hygiene. It's going to point out passwords that are weak, that are reused, that are old, or even ones that have been involved in a breach. It'll give you a security score based on our internal algorithm, and then steps you can take to increase your overall password hygiene. This is a feature that is super important to a lot of our small business clients. Some of you may know that employee password reuse is one of the biggest risk factors for a hack because most people who aren't using Dashlane are using a password that is similar, at least, for all of their different types of accounts. And if one of their personal accounts, is involved in a breach, which at this point feels like it happens every other day, and they're using a similar password for one of your business accounts, it's not too hard to figure out where they work. So that's something that is really important to all of our small business clients, that all of their employees are using unique, strong passwords for every single site. Dashlane also allows you to save IDs. So you can save your passport ID, your state ID, your social security number. This allows you to keep all that information on hand at all times without ever carrying around those actual documents. It'll also store personal info like your address, your phone number. I know you have those memorized, but I'll show you why that's pretty cool later. We can also save your credit card information, which makes it much easier for shopping online. So moving on, one of my favorite features of Dashlane is our automatic login. So when you download Dashlane, you'll download our app, but you'll also download our browser extension. If you see up there in the top right, it's that little Impala with a green dot. This is something that is super proprietary to Dashlane. It's one of our coolest pieces of technology. It actually enables us to kind of read the screen as it's coming, and Dashlane knows to input your email address for Dropbox and to email your password for Dropbox right there. So automatic login will happen in just under a second. You don't even need to know what your password is for Dropbox. We also make it easy if you have two accounts on the same site, like a work email and a personal Gmail. We allow you to select that account and we'll automatically log you in. It's also super helpful for creating new accounts. So let's say I'm getting in on the Bitcoin craze and I want to sign up for Coinbase. Because I already saved my personal information in Dashlane, Dashlane Semantic Engine will say, okay, fill out first name, last name, email address, and then it will prompt me to create a strong password. This is, again, super fundamental to Dashlane and one of the ways we help create strong, unique passwords. I don't even need to make one up. It does it for me, and then it's going to be automatically saved within Dashlane. That's really how you build up your password vault over time, and it's super easy to use. We also make it easy to shop online. So if I'm checking out on bodum.com, Dashlane will autofill all my billing information in one click. And it'll also allow me to autofill my credit cards. So that's what we call the Dashlane wallet. Again, it makes it super easy. You're not searching for your credit card, but it's also much more secure than saving your credit card details on a merchant site. You'll see it autofills the card number, the expiration, and the security code, and you're good to go. Dashlane also saves receipts, so these will be line item receipts for each merchant. They'll be stored in your app. Super easy if you ever want to go back and look at something you previously bought. It even tells you what card you bought it on. We also work well on mobile, so we have apps for Android and iOS. Data will automatically sync between your iOS app, Android, desktop, PC, Mac, whatever you have, will sync that data when you have a premium subscription. This makes sure that you can access your data anywhere you are at all times. We also enable you to do automatic logins within apps on Android and with several hundred apps on iOS. We also have within the Dashlane app, we actually have our own mobile browser, which is pretty cool. The mobile browser within Dashlane is using our semantic engine, which enables you to do logins, again, on every single site. Makes it much easier for shopping online on your phone, which can be a little tricky outside of an app. We also have a cool feature called Password Changer. This works on hundreds of sites today. It's growing more and more every single day. What it allows you to do is pull up a list of passwords from Dashlane. Let's say I want to change my LinkedIn password, my Evernote, my Fitbit, but I don't want to go to every single site, reset my password, go do it in my email and resave it in Dashlane. From our password changer field, you can actually just do this automatically. All happens in one tap. The app is communicating with the website on the back end, and you don't need to do a single other thing. Another feature that our small business customers really appreciate as well is our security breach notifications. So we have a way to scan the internet, the news constantly, looking for notifications of breaches. Anytime any news comes out about a breach, what we do is scan to see which one of our users has an account already for that site, and we will automatically let them know that they need to go in and change their passwords. This example shows how it's working in going to an Apple Watch, but we also do push notifications through the app or however you would like to receive them. And one of our other really cool features that's proprietary to Dashlane is our secure sharing. So I'm sure many of you are guilty of this. I'm guilty of it myself, where I share a Netflix password personally with my family. There's times where I've just texted it to them, I've emailed it to them. I know that that is a super insecure way to do it. It's super easy to get hacked doing it that way. You might not think, okay, with Netflix, no big deal, somebody else is watching on your account. It's a much bigger deal, as you all know, when you're talking about business passwords. So this is something that is a feature heavily used by our business clients. What it allows you to do is basically share passwords from one user to another who has Dashlane, all covered by the exact same security architecture. So if I want to share a password, these are all my Dashlane teammates. Say I wanted to share my Amazon and Amex passwords, I can send them right through Dashlane. There's two ways that you can actually share those. You might see there it says limited rights. We also have full rights. Limited rights allows you to give someone the password and they can use it to log in. Full rights gives them the ability to log in, but also change that password. So you can control the credentials however you like. Oftentimes, some business customers will have their IT manager as the only one with full rights. You can choose to do whatever you like for each credential. And there you can see it being sent. It'll automatically show up in the other person's Dashlane vault. It takes a matter of seconds. So that is the Dashlane demo. The only other thing I wanted to quickly review was how you can actually take advantage. So through our partnership with Schinnerer, all cyber policy holders are entitled to 100 Dashlane premium licenses for their employees. So to do this, it's super easy. All you have to do is go to go-dashlane.com/Schinnerer offer to sign up. It's going to take you 60 seconds. All you have to do is fill in name, email address, contact information, and your policy number. So once you do that, if you just give us a few days, we will validate that policy number with Schinnerer, and then you'll get an email directly from me where I will give you a license code. That will be one license code. We'll give you the instructions on how to redeem it, but all you have to do is take your individual code, distribute among your company, and you're good to go. One thing I also wanted to note, some of you might be familiar that we have a product called Dashlane Business, which is our enterprise product. If you are a firm that has more than 100 employees, feel free to send me an email directly. Our business product has a few different features, like an admin console that allows an IT manager to check on the status of onboarding for their larger company. There's integrations into other IT services. It also has a feature called Spaces that will allow a customer to have what we call a business space and a personal space. So business space is for all your business passwords, personal is for all your personal passwords. We found that in very large organizations, having that split will really help drive engagement for end users because they're using it personally. The IT managers are never able to have access to the personal space, so it remains super secure. But again, that's really a product that's designed for much larger organizations. So if you're above the 100, feel free to shoot me an email because Schinnerer customers will also get a 20% discount on Dashlane Business. Cool. So I know we just blew through a ton of information. At this point, I am happy to take any questions that you might have about Dashlane, about the offer, about how you can redeem.
Hi, Allison. A few questions did come in. One is if you could explain the difference between Dashlane and LastPass.
That's a great question. So Dashlane is a competitor to LastPass. There's also 1Password, which you may have heard of. Dashlane, and at its core, both have password vaults, both have premium capabilities, a couple of similar features around the wallet. What we like to say is that we compete on our security architecture. If I wouldn't want to disparage anyone, but if you guys do some Google search around security histories, we're very proud of our security track record, the fact that there's never been a breach with us, that we have a patent on our security, and that we also have some really innovative security partnerships. We have one with Google for something called OpenYOLO. We have one with Intel, where we've implemented 2 of their hardware-based technologies. We're also a member of the FIDO Alliance. So we found when talking to customers of both that our security track record is something we really differentiate on. We've also heard that our UI is a little bit easier, which helps with some enterprise adoption. We've also done some studies because we can actually see if someone wants to import passwords from LastPass to Dashlane. For every customer that we lose to a competitor, we find that we gain 13 back. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on, of making sure that we're the easiest product out there.
Okay, there is a follow-up question. If somebody wanted to switch from LastPass to Dashlane, is there a way to import everything from LastPass to Dashlane?
Absolutely. All you have to do is download Dashlane, and if you go to the top in the desktop app, you'll see an option for import, and will allow you to import directly from another password manager. It's super easy.
Okay, another question. Let's see. Is there logging for who accesses credentials that one can report on?
I assume that question means an IT level of control. You can tell if someone, if you share a password with someone, but and then if you have Dashlane Business, you'll be able to see from an admin console, who has onboarded to Dashlane, who's an active user, that sorts of things. But we don't share specific data on the usage of a credential for privacy reasons.
Okay, let's see. How long are the premium licenses free?
That's a great question. So what you'll receive is a 1-year free premium license. That's what the codes are set up to do on the background, though they will continue as long as we have this partnership with Shinrer. So those will automatically renew for you from a year. And if, in the future, I don't anticipate this happening, but in the future, if we were no longer a partner of Shinrer, what would happen is you could either choose to upgrade yourself and keep your account at premium, or you would revert to Dashlane free, which would keep all of your data on the device of your choosing. So in no way would you ever lose your Dashlane data if something were to change from a partnership front.
Okay, great. Someone asked if they can have the URL sent to them so I can copy and paste. And definitely we will send an email to everyone probably tomorrow or the following day with a link to the recording of the presentation, and the URL will be included in that email as well. Okay, another question. If, as the owner of a company, I give this to all of my employees, are you able to tell me how many of them actually sign up?
We should be able to do that, yes, because every person will receive an individualized promo code. So if you reach out to me at allison@dashlane.com, I can tell you how many uses of that individualized promo code have been, redeemed. It's not something we would be consistently reporting on a daily basis. We wouldn't have an available dashboard, but I'm more than happy to help out and just look into that myself.
Okay. If a website asks for the account password, how do I find out what the password is that Dashlane automatically filled in?
That's a great question. So you can go into your Dashlane app, and when you go into the password vault itself, you can actually double click on a password. Let me see if I can actually show you guys this. So in this vault, when you click on an individual password, it'll pop up a screen for that credential. It will show the email, the password, any notes you want to associate with that password. And all you do is click, there's a little visibility button, and it'll show you exactly what that password is.
All right, one more. Do you know how often a master password has been compromised? And then what type of remediation is available when such things happen?
Dashlane has never experienced a breach and or a hack. So there's actually nothing that we can comment on there. If someone, wrote their master password down and someone else was able to access it, it's not something we would necessarily have a view into, which is why we tell people to always have it in their head. But in my 2 years of Dashlane, I can reconfirm, but I've never experienced anything coming through user support where someone lost access to their account because of that. We do offer, for people that want to be more secure, a number of different two-factor authentication ways. You can use Google Authenticator. We verify new devices with an SMS authentication. One of my partnerships with Intel allows you to do built-in U2F, which is a way that if you're using a Windows PC enabled by Intel, we can actually do a second factor of authentication with a pop-up that happens on the screen. It's a little bit more technical, but we enable lots of different opportunities for that. So again, haven't experienced anything with any breaches related to the master password. Or anything else, I should say.
I think you struck a chord. We just had like 6 questions come in. So here we go. Does Dashlane fill in answers to security questions that are often asked by websites?
That is a great question. So what we often recommend people to do for those types of websites is there's a section within each Dashlane credential that you can save, like basically any custom notes you would like. In some cases, it has the ability to do it because you can autofill your email and your password, and then you can set like a secondary login, which some people will say, here's the word that fills out that question because they know it's coming. But the short answer is you'll usually manually have to type those in, but you can save them within Dashlane so you don't forget them. The reason is the semantic engine works off recognizing code, and most companies implement those in super different ways. It's just not very consistent.
Okay. Does the Dashlane plugin work with other browsers other than Chrome?
Yes, we work with every major browser. We also recently released support for Edge and Linux, so every major browser that's out there.
Okay. How difficult is it to transfer from one computer to another if you have to buy a new computer or if yours happens to break down?
Great question. No problem at all if you're using the premium service. So if you are using premium, your data will automatically sync. So all you'd have to do on a new computer is download Dashlane and log in, and it'll automatically sync. You'll have all your data there. So anyone coming from Schnur would have the premium service and would have that. For other users, because if they're free, the credentials are stored locally on the device. They should export that and then import that to their new computer. Not hard to do, but that's also one of the really cool benefits of sync in premium.
Okay. Can an IT admin see what sites employees have in their vault?
Not using, I should clarify. So within Dashlane Premium, there isn't a admin console that's specifically for Dashlane Business. Within Dashlane Business, they can see which sites they have in the business side of the vault. They have no visibility whatsoever into the personal side of the vault, which is a super core privacy and security tenet for us.
Does the same thing go for the auditing features? Is that available in the business and not premium?
That's correct. So premium today is really designed more for smaller businesses, you know, that maybe not using as many like the auditing or high enterprise integration features. So anything related to those super core enterprise features are all in Dashlane Business.
Okay, last question that came in mentions, is there a quote unquote break in case of emergency setting where, is it, for example, in other enterprise password management applications, you can set a credential that has access to all credentials?
I do not believe we have anything like that in Dashlane. The only thing that I can think of is you are able to set up an emergency contact, which is a little bit different. We often do this because we get a lot of people reach out, like users who had Dashlane passed away, and then their information is locked within our vault. So you can actually designate an emergency contact who would be another person who can access the vault that you've previously given permission, but that's more at the individual level, less a technical setting related to the other passwords.
Okay, here's a question. I'm not quite sure if Jason will have to chime in with this one. I don't know the timeline, but they asked, is the free license available if they sign up for the Schner cyber policy within the next 30 days? I don't know if there was a waiting period.
I don't believe there's a waiting period. I think we should be,
as long as you have the policy number.
Yes.
Yeah, Jillian, there's no waiting period. As soon as they have their policy number, they can sign up and we'll get a confirmation.
Okay. Any other questions? Send them in. 3 more minutes, everybody. Okay, looks like we are good to go.
I would like to thank Allison. I've learned a lot actually about the service, and have a lot more confidence in the capabilities of the service than I had even before. Like I mentioned at the opening, I am a user. My wife's a user. She loves it. I know the shared feature is what we use for all of our logins and everything, and the complaints around the Bucher household has gone down considerably ever since we've started using that. So.
Well, we appreciate it, and I really appreciate everyone making the time to learn about Dashlane. And again, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. It's Allison, ALLISON, at dashlane.com. That'll be included in the presentation that goes out as well.
Great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone.